Gotham Chess is famous for many things: raging at Blitz games, singing on stream, dancing after wins, and somehow turning every chess position into entertainment. But beneath all of that is a surprisingly consistent chess philosophy. In Blitz, practical positions matter more than perfect positions. Today we're starting a series on the Gotham Chess Blitz repertoire, looking at the openings Levy-Rozman actually uses in fast time controls. The goal isn't to build the most engine-approved repertoire imaginable, but to understand the practical weapons Gotham chooses when the clock is ticking. And we're starting with one of the weirdest anti-Sicilians you'll ever see: e4 c5 a3. At first glance, this looks like a joke move. You're spending a tempo on a pawn move that doesn't fight for the center, doesn't develop a piece, and doesn't seem to threaten anything. But that's exactly the point. The idea behind a3 is to sidestep huge amounts of Sicilian theory and drag your opponent out of their comfort zone right off the bat. If they're a Sicilian player, they might know 20 moves of Najdorf theory, 15 moves of dragon theory, maybe even some Rossolimo stuff. But after a3, all of the ideas in those variations suddenly become much less useful here. Gotham's philosophy in Blitz is simple. Give me a position I've played 50 times and you've seen maybe once in your life. Against the most common response, knight c6, white immediately strikes with b4. I think it would be quite natural for black to get tempted by the free pawn, and so after c takes b4, a takes b4, knight takes b4, c3, white gains a tempo attacking the knight, and after knight c6, d4, white suddenly has a massive central presence and plenty of space. The critical moment comes after d5. This looks completely natural. Black wants to strike in the center before white consolidates, but actually this move walks into serious trouble. White simply captures. E takes d5, queen takes d5, and now comes a very Gotham-like move, knight a3. The knight is heading straight toward b5, which would make the c7 square a really sweet parking spot. The kind of parking spot that gives you a free queen just for staying there. If black develops routinely with knight f6, then white jumps in with knight b5, forcing the queen back. After queen d8, d5, white grabs space and kicks away the knight. Black can't take this pawn because of a brilliant move, queen takes d5, followed by knight c7, check, fork. Following knight e5, bishop f4, white already has a strategically winning position. Black's pieces are cramped, c7 is very sensitive, and white has easy development. This is just completely crushing for white. Black does have alternatives though. e6 seems to be black's most resilient setup. White then develops naturally with bishop d3, f4, and often castles kingside before beginning an attack. A recurring theme throughout Gotham's anti-Sicilian repertoire is that he doesn't mind slightly unconventional positions as long as they are easy to play and pose at least some challenges to the opponent. There are also sidelines. Against g6, Gotham often develops with knight c3, bishop c4, and often retreats the bishop to a2 before launching the pawn with h4. This h-pawn idea actually appears constantly in Gotham's Blitz repertoire. If black develops with e6 and knight g7, h4 actually works perfectly against that setup. The idea is simple: h5, opening lines, and creating kingside pressure before black is comfortable. If black develops with knight f6 instead, we can still absolutely go for that same h4 idea, and white can even consider sacrificial ideas like pushing h5, and after black takes, rook takes h5, sacking an exchange but aiming for rapid attacking chances. The computer isn't always thrilled about these sacrifices, but that's not really the point. This repertoire is designed for Blitz. And it's not an attempt to refute the Sicilian. It's an attempt to make the Sicilian player uncomfortable. You're choosing positions that are easy to understand, easy to repeat, and incredibly annoying to face if you've never seen them before. And that's really the core philosophy behind Gotham's Blitz openings. You don't need a +1 according to Stockfish. In fact, Gotham is notoriously skeptical toward Engine's opinions. You just need a position you know better than your opponent. and a3 against the Sicilian does exactly that. Soon I'll make a video about what Gotham plays against e5, where things somehow become even more aggressive.